Regardless of who the next U.S. president is, they'll have to deal with a volatile Middle East. For example, just to the north of Israel, Lebanon chose a new president, but it took him 2.5 years to choose him. His name, Michel Aoun, a former army general who pledges to bring change to his country. He recently talked with our Gary Lane to discuss the issues he plans to address.
Lebanon's new president is a former army general and a Maronite Christian. One of Michel Aoun's biggest challenges will be stopping the flood of Syrians crossing his country's border. 1 out of every 4 people here in Lebanon are Syrian refugees, and that's placed a tremendous burden on the economy. Earlier this year, I talked to General Aoun at his home. He told me Lebanon is nearing a breaking point, and other countries need to share the burden.
We have a density of, right now, of 600 per square kilometer. In Canada, we have 4. In Australia, we have 2.
He said ending Syria's civil war is the only way to alleviate the refugee crisis. This week, in his first speech as president, Aoun pledged to keep regional fires from spreading to Lebanon. He told me a political solution is the only way to win peace in Syria, but resuming talks in Geneva is difficult.
No one wouldn't accept the other till now. They want to finish with Bashar al-Assad, and Bashar al-Assad is not,
Should he be finished? Should he
didn't lose.
Yeah.
He didn't lose yet. If they want to get rid of him, okay. They have to invade Damascus and get him.
Aoun has allied himself with Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah. That's a concern for the U.S., which says Hezbollah is a terrorist organization. Israel will surely take notice of this reference to Sheba Farms, a disputed area of land in South Lebanon under Israeli control. Aoun said his government would, quote, not spare any efforts to protect Lebanon from Israel and liberate the remainder of our lands. We will address terrorism in a preemptive manner. Gary Lane, CBN News.
The election of Aoun is important because he's allied with Hezbollah, the Shiite group connected with Iran. And Iran has its own agenda in the Middle East. For example, when we were in northern Iraq recently, we heard the saying that Iranians want to be able to take a bus all the way from Tehran, Iran's capital, to Haifa. In other words, they want to dominate the Middle East. Another group that wants to control the region is ISIS. And right now they're embroiled in a major offensive by coalition forces against ISIS inside Mosul, Iraq's second largest city. When we were in northern Iraq, we also visited the city of Sinjar, liberated from ISIS about a year ago. What we found there was shocking. Parts of Sinjar today look like ruins from ancient times or a destroyed city from a world war. ISIS did much of this destruction, while street fighting and Allied airstrikes did the rest. Before ISIS left Sinjar, they took terrorism to a whole new level. Behind me is one of the churches they destroyed. They also laid mines, set booby traps, and destroyed many other buildings. It wasn't just buildings. ISIS tried to wipe out the Yazidis, this peaceful religious ethnic group in northern Iraq. This is one of the mass grave sites outside the city of Sinjar. There's about 28 sites like this around here. You can see some clothes and human bones. About 1,500 Yazidis were killed. Most of them were men, but some were women and children. And the test for young boys was, if they raised their arm and had any underarm hair, they could be killed.
Feels heavy and wrong.
Dave Eubank of the Free Burma Rangers came to help the Yazidi people.
If anybody wants to know why you need to stop ISIS, you look at this. These are women and children and men, every kind of person, every age. You have little baby skulls this big with the front teeth bashed in. You can look, there's no teeth in the whole front nasal cavity. They're just smashed in like with a rifle or something. To slaughter whole families like that. And they're right there, not very far away, just probably about 1,000 yards away is ISIS.
Eubank says the war fought here is the same war facing the West.
These are our brothers and sisters. It's coming to us anyways. This is the war we didn't choose, and it's coming. It's already come to America. So we don't have a choice. Rationally, you don't have a choice. You have to stop this. Morally, much more importantly, we need to stop this for the sake of these people. So that's what I think the lesson learned is when evil comes, you don't wait. It's like an infection. You don't wonder if it's going to get better. You immediately attack it. That's how you start the healing.
After visiting the site, we found this man who witnessed the massacre.
When I saw this, I couldn't do anything. I was in the mountain defending our position since ISIS didn't capture Mount Sinjar. I felt sorry because I couldn't help. We couldn't come down.
During the fighting to capture the city from ISIS, the fighting went street to street and underground. This is one of the tunnels that ISIS dug throughout Sinjar. There was one on the other side, an entrance on the other side of the road. Under the road came here, and you just follow this down, and this goes to another building. This is how they fought the war, the battle for Sinjar. This one tunnel stretched through 5 buildings. Military experts expect ISIS has dug numerous tunnels like this one inside Mosul. In urban fighting, it gives the defenders of the city a big advantage. The city itself is littered with the debris of war. For example, this poster warns about picking up any leftover explosives. Yet in the midst of this danger and destruction, there's a sign of life, a playground.
This is a gift from Reload Love, which is a church in Albuquerque. And it was a vision. It's a product of great vision to put fun and joy in a war zone, to give kids that have lived through trauma of war some fresh piece of love from people who care and pray for them.
Its bright colors not only stand out in a war-weary city, but one young American saw the value of what a playground can do for the children of war.
In one of our church visits, one of the Sunday school kids was watching a video of kids playing at a different playground on another front line and said, "I think they've forgotten about it. I think they've forgotten about the war. They're just playing." That's our joy in partnership with this, and it's our prayer for the kids that they would know something about God's love and a creative new opening in the midst of a difficult place.
It's likely a story that will be repeated in and around Mosul. But the playground stands as a sign of hope in a place, among a people, and in a region where hope seems to have fled. If you'd like an immersive experience inside the city of Sinjar, check out our 360 virtual reality video on our Facebook page.